Okay, let's just dive right into what we talked about this week. We went through a lot. One of the things that I would encourage you to do is not lose sight of what we've learned in previous weeks. If you're going to be fluent and really able to sign well, you're going to want to know all of this. So your quizzes may include some words from previous weeks. So make sure that you are just always reviewing and recycling stuff. These videos are usually about 10 minutes, 15 minutes long. So that takes no time at all to review. So make sure you're reviewing well. Okay, so the first sign language stuff that we did was lexicized finger spelling. And what that is finger spelled words that look more like a sign than actual finger spelling. So we can sign, like my name, and that's clearly finger spelled. If you spell Lubbock, clearly finger spelled. But there are some words like all that may, they look more like a sign because we're not doing A-L-L. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but really it's fast, just all. Those can be used to emphasize a point, show direction, and make a comparison. So if you're going to say, like, do you want to take the bus or do you want to go on a car? You can use two hands to compare. Same thing with anything else. You can say, is it green or is it yellow? Or is it right or is it wrong? You can do anything like that, or right and wrong, I guess. Or right and left. That's a big one that they compare with. Another one of the big lexicized finger spellings is that do. So what are you doing? You can say it as a group, or you can just point to someone to help you. You can also use this with shortened words like, or words that have common abbreviations like apartment, APT, instead of writing out the whole word apartment. You could use that. Or etc., ETC, when you're listing off stuff would help too. So we talked about signing in a restaurant, and now next week we'll go over some foods, stuff like that, or next time we get together we'll go over some foods, stuff like that. But when you're signing in a restaurant, the first ones we went through, I kind of nicknamed the baby signs because most little babies learn these signs, but they are things like eat. You see my hand, looks, my fingers all closed, and you're doing eat from the side. Drink. You're just making a C. That's always our cup for C, and you're drinking something. All done. You're going to shake your hands. Make sure you're not doing something crazy like this because that is sign language for cheering or applause. If you're hungry, you're just going to take a C down your chest for hungry. More. You just pat your fingers together. Reagan can do that one. My little 1-year-old. He does more and all done really well. If you want water, you can send water. It's a W on your chin. You can add any fruit to that or any type of, if you want to say I want ice water for frozen water. Or you could say something like lemon water, or you could say hot water. Any of those things you can use as adjectives for water. Milk. Juice is kind of a J from your mouth down. Soda. So if you're doing pop, you can see you take two fingers to get down in your hand and just hit the top pop. Then for tea, you're going to take an F and go like this and do tea. You can do the same thing like we did for water. You can add, like tea with lemon, or sweet tea, or hot tea, any adjective that could describe the kind of tea you want. Or same thing, iced tea, those things. Okay, we also did fruit, and we did vegetable this week. Then we did restaurant, which is just an R going across your face. That describes any type of restaurant, so fast food, fancy restaurants, any type of thing like that. So, if you need a plate, you're going to take your hands, kind of start out like that with two C's together, and bring them around in a circle. If you look at that kind of from the top, Obviously, this isn't how you sign, but that's kind of the same action that I'm doing down here for plate. Now you can do paper plate, you could do glass plate. Those things will help you get kind of what you need. So again, we also have cup. So just like when we talk about drink, we're doing that same motion, cup. Napkin is going to be, I'm just curling my fingers like that. I'm doing napkin like so. If you have a fork, you're going to take your hand from your, the palm, and you're kind of doing this motion up. Now this is stand, so you don't want to just keep it here. You kind of want to do that eating motion. Spoon, same thing. You're going to do your fingers together up to your mouth. And then knife, like that. When you are being seated at a table, sit would be an important one to know. So you're just putting your two fingers together for sit. And then table is two T's taken down like this. Server, you're going to take your hands and do this. This is serve or service. Anytime you're going to say a word plus a person, kind of that ER ending, you're going to do server. So anything that is a person that could also be a word on its own. Now obviously something like student, that's not going to be confused with anything else. So you'll just do that without this motion. Anytime you're trying to show that you have like a painter, a waiter, a server, anything like that, you're going to add that downward motion. If you're cooking, you're going to take your palm and just kind of hit it back and forth for cook. You can also do cooker for chef, and that works just as well. The word menu. Now there is no good word for menu, but you can say like, I'm going to read the menu and finger spell it. But anytime we do menu, we're going to just finger spell it. If you're going to pay, you're kind of doing that make it rain type thing, but with a P. Going across your palm like you're giving out money, you're paying for your meal. And then tip, anything at the tip, or you're going to tip someone. That's not going to be commonly used. You can just say, I'm going to pay for it. Okay, so then we did our basic phrases. Earlier when we were talking about the lexicile finger spelling, we did basically do over and over and over. What do is kind of the rough translation there. So what are you doing? You can just do this in a direction. Like my cat, for example, if I was saying, what are you doing? I would do it towards her. If you wanted to know what a group was doing, you could do it as this, like in a circle, kind of including everyone. That's where that directionality comes in. You can also say, what are you doing? And you see how my face kind of asks a question, like, what are you doing? Type thing. What is your phone number? This is one where you can do what is your phone number. Make sure you're kind of asking the question at the end, like, what is your phone number type thing. You can leave out the what sometimes too. If you wanted to say phone number, if you've had a conversation where it's going to make sense, then you can do that. My dad and I were talking this morning about shortening things and when it's okay and when it's not, and it's really just all context, and you'll get to be more comfortable with that the more you speak. So what time? Again, you're going to do what time, or you could say, if you're asking for the time, you could just be like, what's the time? Again, that's one of those shortened things that you're going to kind of learn as we go. Where do you live? So where, live, remember you're taking two L's up your chest, and I again apologize for the computer screen. Where do you work? And if you want to say, where you work, if there's a group around, you can point to specific individuals. But for the most part, you're going to be talking to one person, one-on-one, so they'll kind of know that it's you they're talking to, or them, you're talking to them. Are you hungry? So you can say, are you hungry? Are is one of those nice signs because it kind of lends itself to saying like, are you? And then you do you're hungry down. If you're gonna say you have to go somewhere, I'm gonna go, and you kind of point in the direction that you're gonna go. Like, I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna go over there. If you're gonna say I have to go home, you're gonna say I have to or need to go home, or I need to go home. You could say something like that. Again, just kind of all in context. If you're gonna say meet you there, again, this is meet, two people coming together, like these. And then you're just gonna do this little, you can kind of see what my hand does, kind of the there type thing. But you're just gonna do meet you there. And the last one was ready. This is always ready with 2 R's. Ready to order, and this is order. Just fingers out of the mouth. So ready to order. The one piece of advice that I would give you this week is, especially with the Alexa-style finger spelling, make sure you're doing that in the mirror so you can really see where your fingers go in between signs. Especially if you're doing words like back. You want to do them slowly. You can just, kind of flick your wrist and do them quickly, but you want to make sure to practice those in the mirror to see clearly what your fingers are doing. My one tip for practicing in the mirror would be anytime that you go to the bathroom for whatever reason, spend a minute in front of the mirror, and before you know it, your time will have added up over the week, and you'll have practiced for, however many minutes. So just anytime you pass by a mirror, just do a sign real fast. Make sure you're aware of what your fingers are doing, because muscle memory is going to be your best friend in sign language. You'll learn what feels good, what doesn't, what works and what doesn't. So I look forward to seeing y'all next week. And have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll talk to you later.